Reliable 100% fiber internet kaya ang sarap maging tambahay with Red Fiber.
The Marcoses are officially back in power as Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. takes his oath as the 17th president at noon on Thursday, June 30. It's a homecoming of sorts for the Marcoses, who went on exile 36 years ago after a peaceful people power revolt. In his inaugural speech, Marcos reiterates his campaign message of unity.
This is a historic moment for us all. I feel it deep within me. You, the people, have spoken, and it is resounding. When my call for unity started to resonate with you, it did so because it echoed your yearnings, mirrored your sentiments, and expressed your hopes for family, for country, and for a better future. By your vote, you rejected the politics of division. I offended none of my rivals in this campaign. I listened instead to what they were saying.
In his speech, the newly elected president pays homage to his father, whose rule was marred by rampant corruption, killings, torture, disappearance of critics, and media oppression.
I once knew a man who saw what little had been achieved since independence in a land of people with the greatest potential for achievement, and yet they were poor. But he got it done, sometimes with the needed support, sometimes without. So will it be with his son. You will get no excuses from me.
Marcos starts his 6-year term facing a host of challenges, from rising inflation and pandemic recovery to balancing relations between competing superpowers, the United States and China. Meantime, former President Rodrigo Duterte is given the traditional departure honors in Malacanang before he finally leaves the palace. Survivors and victims of late dictator Ferdinand Marcos' tyrannical rule pledged to guard the country against tyranny on Thursday, June 30. The same day, Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. takes his oath as the new Philippine president. Martial law victims and survivors hold a program in Bantayog ng Mga Bayani in Quezon City, a memorial park honoring martial law heroes. The Panunumpa para sa Bayan or Oath for the Country was led by martial law survivors, renowned playwright Bonifacio Ilagan, and former Commission on Human Rights Chairperson Eda Rosales.
Nagpapahayag kami ngayon ng aming paninindigan
ng pag-upo bilang Pangulo ay hindi magpapalaya sa pananagutan sa kasaysayan
na dapat aminin ng pamilyang Marcos ang pandarambong at dapat ibalik sa mga kinauukulan ang mga ninakaw.
Meantime, various progressive groups also staged demonstrations at Plaza Miranda in Manila to reject Marcos Jr.'s inauguration and the Marcoses' return to Malacanang. At least 19 groups, including Bayan Muna and Kabataan Party List, were present in the Manila demonstration. During these events in Manila and Quezon City, youth leaders were arrested by the police along Commonwealth Avenue during a lighting banner hanging activity near the CHR. At around 3 p.m., Akbayan announced the arrested youth leaders were eventually released by the police.
Need more context, clarity, and perspective? Get the full picture with Rappler Plus. With exclusive content and events, you'll get an opportunity to discuss issues with reporters, experts, and featured guests while helping Rappler continue its fearless journalism. Join now.
Manila Mayor-elect Honey Lacuna takes her oath of office on Wednesday, June 29, shattering a glass ceiling by becoming the first woman to sit at City Hall's top post. Outgoing Mayor Isko Moreno swears in Lacuna and Vice Mayor-elect Yul Servo in a ceremony at the Manila Cathedral in Intramuros. In her speech, Lacuna thanks Moreno for letting her shine as his vice mayor. At the height of the pandemic, Lacuna, a registered physician, became Moreno's point person on coronavirus-related matters, coordinating with health directors in the city.
Itunuring niya akong isang partner, ate, katuwang sa lahat ng mga gawaing bayan. Ni minsan ay hindi ako nakaramdam na ako ay isang spare tire lang. Hinayaan niya akong magningning sa aking pagiging isang doktor, lalo na nitong panahon ng pandemya.
As mayor, Lacuna vowed to provide better health and social services for Manila residents. Kris Aquino gives another health update on Instagram Thursday, June 30, sharing she recovered from COVID-19 as she receives treatment for her autoimmune diseases in the United States. In the post, Kris shares clips and photos of her undergoing various procedures before sharing an open letter she wrote to her late brother, former President Noynoy Aquino. She writes the letter in light of her brother's first death anniversary. In the letter, Kris shares her struggles with the medical procedures she went through. She also says her sons Josh and Bimb also tested positive for COVID-19. Kris left for the United States in early June to receive treatment for an ultra-rare disease called EGPA. EGPA causes inflammation of the blood vessels, resulting in the restriction of blood flow and causing organ damage if left untreated. R. Kelly is sentenced on Wednesday, June 29, to 30 years in prison, following the multi-platinum R&B singer's conviction of racketeering and sex crimes. Kelly was convicted on 9 criminal charges, including 1 count of racketeering and 8 counts of violating the Mann Act, which bars transporting people across state lines for prostitution. U.S. District Judge Ann Donnelly says the evidence shows Kelly's indifference to human suffering and sheer brutality toward his victims. The sentencing comes after several accusers tell the judge about Kelly promising to mentor them and help them attain stardom, only to subject them to degrading sexual treatment and physical harm. The alleged victims included the singer Aaliyah. Prosecutors said Kelly fraudulently married her when she was 15 to conceal earlier abuse. Aaliyah died in 2001. Kelly, whose full name is Robert Sylvester Kelly, is among the most prominent people convicted of sexual misbehavior during the #MeToo movement.